So if you're a beginner or you're just fairly new to YouTube and you want to make some better video quality and you only have access to your bedroom and your phone like I have, show you how to transform your bedroom from something like this to something like this. Now I hope I'm sat in the same position so it just transitions smoothly, but let's get into it. So the first thing you want to do is turn all the lights off. So you basically start with a blank canvas. I'm going to actually need to get up to turn that one off. So this way, starting with a dark room, you can position the light sources exactly where you want them and you won't have to rely on like natural light and things like that. Now I'm going to be totally honest with you, I don't really have a clue what I'm doing, but I know for a fact that this looks better than it did at the start. I watched a few YouTube videos and I just tried to make it a little bit better every single video that I make. A few videos down the line, this is what I'm left with. Obviously there's a lot more room to progress, but I'm quite happy with it considering it's my iPhone 12, it's like 5 years old. So the steps following on from now are already assuming that you've got yourself some artificial lights. I mean, you can use natural light, but it's harder to control and obviously you can't put it exactly where you want it. And in the title or thumbnail, I did state that it cost me £50 to make this setup, and I got mine from Amazon. There's loads that are very similar, and obviously all do the same thing, they just light up, but mine, they're just like 3 different shades. There's a bright white, like a yellowy, and then like an in-between. You can pay more money and get like, I think it's called an RGB, and then you can get literally any colour, but for what I needed it for, these were perfect. Beginner set of lights, 50 quid for 2. Can't really complain. So now I'll move on to the actual setup. So I'll start with the camera placement, which is just my phone. So you want to place it as far away from the background as possible, so you can get some nice blur in between the object, or the subject, sorry, and the background. So if I'm sat here like this normally, talking, that's where my phone is, in the little GoPro suction thing, and then that's how far it is to my window. Just creates a nice little blur. To be honest, I don't know why or how it does it, but it does, and it just gives it like a nice little professional look. But if you're filming in your bedroom like me and you can't get enough space in between the subject and the background, then I'll show you a little trick post-production, or just after you've shot your video, in editing software where you can make the background look like it's blurred, and it just gives it like a nicer look. I mean, another little trick is I've got a tripod, but then if I'd have set that up there, it'd have been a bit further away from the wall. So I've just got like a little GoPro suction pad. I'll show you a video of this. A GoPro suction pad on my mirror, just so I can get even further away from the background. So now you've got your camera in a decent place, I'll move on to lighting, which is what the £50 for in this video. Your first light is called your key light, I think, or your main light. It don't really matter about the technical terms, it just matters where you put them. So you want to place your main light about 45 degrees from the camera, so obviously 90 degrees is there, so halfway, so the light's here, shining on your face, and it just gives you like a nice little shadow this side, like this. See how you got the shadow over here, my big nose. And apparently, and yes, I'll say apparently because it's not coming from me, it's coming from the people that know what they're on about, but the closer to 90 degrees you move the light, the more shadow you're going to have on your face, obviously, but the more cinematic look that you get. Now, I want to interject and say something weird, but there is such thing as soft light and hard light. Now, I don't really know all the technicals about it, but you can tell the difference. So you turn hard light into soft light by using a softbox. Now, softbox is one of them massive big dome things, big circle things with a white film on. But basically, I think it just disperses light into a bigger area and it just looks nicer. But these cheap lights didn't come with softboxes, so what I use is an old t-shirt. I mean, in my eyes, it does the trick. This I'll show you without it. That's me just lifting it up a little bit. It's a bit more harsh and direct. Yeah. The only thing I can go off is it looks better, so I'll do it. That's the theme of this video, really. I don't really know why it works, but if it looks better, I'll do it. So moving on from that, the main light, to the second light, which is technically called a fill light, but it goes on the shadow side, roughly the same place, 45 degrees, pointing at the subject, obviously. And then that's without it on, so you can see all the shadows. So then just lights this side of my face up a little bit. Having 2 lights gives you a lot more freedom, but you want your fill light a lot dimmer than your main light, just so it lights up this side of your face. You don't want it the same, because then you just have no shadows and it'd look the same on both sides. So what I've done the first time I set the lights up is I just played around with the brightnesses, obviously having that one a bit brighter than that one. I just kept turning them up and down until I liked what I saw, and then that's what I use most of the time now. Then the last thing I use for lighting is that light over there, so I'll go and get it and show you. But you just want it like a nice accessory light or a backlight or something. It's just a LED light I think I got with a gimbal. To get a bit more technical again, it adds a bit of, say, depth, I don't know. I think it separates the background from the subject and like it lights up the back of me. I know that's a thing as well. Like it lights up the back of me so you can see the outline more. Don't just blend in with the background. But if you ain't got a little LED light like that, you could use a candle or an app. Get an app on your phone just to like let out some light behind you, and you can play around with it. You can have different colours and whatnot. But I obviously don't use a candle up there because then it'd set fire to my blinds and then I'd have a bit of a problem. So then, once you've got your lights set up and everything, what I used to do was press record on my phone, go and sit down or stand where I think I'm in shot, and then say a few words just to test it out, and then go back to my phone, stop recording, and then just adjust, like, oh, I need to go right a little bit, I need to go left a little bit, and that can just get monotonous, and like, that can take a lot of time in itself. So after looking around online, I thought, there's got to be a way I can connect my phone to my iPad and see exactly what's going on my iPad. So that's when I got the Blackmagic app. It's just a camera app, you get it on your phone and your iPad, and then I can see exactly what my iPhone's seeing without even having to move or press record, then stop. It's just so much easier and it saves loads of time. And make sure when you're recording that your iPhone's set to 4K when videoing if you can. Mine's 5 years old and I can still do it, but you want to set it to 4K because it's a lot better than HD. It offers a higher resolution, it's just nicer on the eyes in general. And also in post-production, like when you're editing it and things, you can zoom in and you won't lose as much quality as when you do it on HD, because I think it's got like 4 times the amount of pixels, so you keep a lot of quality when you zoom in from far away or even that far away. And then once you're happy with everything, where your camera is, where your lights are, and if you've got anything going on in the background, then just press record and ramble on like I do in these videos. And now you've got all your shots. I'll take you through that little editing trip I was on about earlier. Not trip, tip. Moving on to the editing tip I was on about, how to get some background blur. Get your piece of footage in timeline, and then for this example I'll just take a little bit of it because otherwise my laptop will explode. So like that, I've got 18 seconds of it. You're going to want to duplicate it, and then on the top one you want to remove background, auto removal, and then that should just remove me there. So now it's done, so you can see the top layer is just me on my own. So now you've got 2 layers basically. You've got me cut out on the top, and then behind it you've got the whole picture. So then what you want to do is you want to go to effects. I've got it in my favourites. This is how slow my laptop is. It's terrible and it sounds like it's going to take off. You want to go to blur. So this one, I like to use this one. Drag it onto this clip, and then see how the background's blurred. It's a bit too much at the minute though. It looks a bit fake and crap. So I think last time I used about 10 or 8. Or I think it was 5 actually. Just so then you can see like the background, like my blind and the wall is a little bit blurrier than this. Also, it makes my iPhone footage look a bit clearer because there's a contrast in the background and me then. But yeah, so I think about 8 looks alright. So then I'll just do that for every clip, and obviously it took that long to do 18 seconds. So you imagine what it's going to take to do like a 10-minute video. So now that's all wrapped up, I'll let YouTube suggest the next video you should watch, and I'll leave it about here somewhere. Yeah, and hopefully it's one of my newer ones because they're getting better slowly. I mean, I feel like I'd be doing something wrong if they started getting worse.